All right, so if I don't particularly like this or these things are going to be sticking out, I have a couple different options. Plus, I think I'm going to quickly add in a whole new kind of way to do this big difference. What I want to do is I'm going to make this section here kind of cut out. And to do that, I'm going to actually copy the hull command that I have here. And I'm going to make this into its own little bit bigger thing. So I'm going to copy the hull command here. I'm going to take this in a little bit. So it's the same diameter as that other one, I think. Let me see. Oh, 14. I want it to be 14 for both of these guys. I'm going to keep it being the two units high. I'm going to keep these two actually showing up the way they are. But I want to make this entire hull section translate to a different location. So translate, remember the square braces, and I'm going to move it up. So X, Y, comma, Z is what I want to do. I want to move it up. Let's see, I want to move it up how much? 2? What have we got? We got the height of this one's 2. What do I want to move it up? Maybe, let's try 2 to start. We'll just leave it we'll leave it the way it is to start off with. Square brace, so I don't forget, and try that. And what did I create? Not what I wanted at all. Let me move it up higher. Oh, because it's doing a difference of these two. Oops. It's going to be an awesome video. Let me take this one out of the difference. There it is. Okay. I don't want it to be 0. I want it to be 3. I want to move it up too far. I want it to be that's more like it. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make another level, but I'm going to cut that one out of the other piece. So in order to do that, I need to really kind of fiddle with it and adjust it just a little bit to make it be the way I want it to be. I'm going to make the cylinders be the same height as the text, like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that this chunk that I have and move it up even more. Let's go to 4. There it is. So now I've got that piece sticking out. Let me take this real quick, like stick it into this difference. So now I am cutting this with this, and my cylinder that I had, my cutout is separate. I'll put this outside. When I run that one, this is what I'm getting. Let me move it down to 3 because that way it'll cut out better. Let's make it 3.1. Yeah. So see how mine's kind of having that nice cutout now? It's kind of nicely rounded around the outside. And then, so this one's translating. If we wanted to actually see what this is, you should be able to like put a little number sign that shows you what the shape is that's cutting out, or what the shape is of this item. So if you look really quickly, we have the hull, and we have these two hulls. So we have a difference, and we're saying take this guy, and then cut it out with this piece. And we still have the cylinder down here we need to do something with. Let's make the cylinder be 6, so it's a little bit bigger, and render that, and we can see, oh, there's that cylinder. Now let's make this one be the thing we cut out. So we're going to end up having another difference. Difference. Like that. Did I spell it right? 3 F's? No. Difference. Like that. I'm going to highlight all this. I'm going to tab it so it's in the right place. So now I'm going to cut all of this different stuff with this other cylinder and close it. Do a quick preview, and there is what I'm kind of looking for. If I hit the render, you see it should chug through it. and it takes about 7 seconds. And it's a pretty nice, snazzy little name tag we got going there. Now, one of the things that I don't love is the kind of bumpy, blocky here. I think to get rid of that, I'm going to up all of the counts here. So there's a command. If we look at the cheat sheet, you can find it. I often have to go look to double check what it is, but it's a special variable. And this special variable, I can go in here and change the number of fragments, like for certain objects and things. So I'm going to use that one, the FN, and typically you don't want to use it globally. Notice down here at the bottom it took 7 seconds for this one to render. I'm going to now do this one again, but FN, and we'll say it's equal to 100 with a semicolon, and then do my render again. And now it should make that look much smoother. And you can get really carried away with this. You can make OpenSCAD sit there for like 20 minutes trying to render something out if you make this number too large. So be careful with doing this globally. A lot of times it's better to do this just on a particular cylinder or on a single command. Now it took 22 seconds, so it took 3 times as long by changing that. But now you can see the count going around is much smoother. And the 3D printer, you probably aren't going to notice any bumps using the 3D printer because its little steps are so small. If you wanted to get crazy and say, all right, well, I want 360 because of all the degrees, and which isn't going to matter in this context because you're going to be 3D printing it. But you can see it went from 7 seconds to 22 seconds to, well, we'll have to wait a second and find out. Go in, go in. And still going, I promise. Yeah, so 100 was fine. Phew, 35 seconds. I didn't think that was so long. But in this case, look at that. You got to zoom way in to see any of that, any of the facets on that one. So the very last thing, now that I've done that full render, I can go click STL, and I can save this as, Urban's name tag. And then I can go ahead and import that one into the Makerware software.